Okay, guys. I'm going to be making a review right now for a deck that I got as a gift from someone, and basically what I'm going to hope to do with it is show you what are some cards that are not great to get, because these are not the best cards I have. They're not very good, so let's get right into it. Now, the first thing you'll notice is they're in a plastic case. Usually, that's not a good sign, because it either means that they're custom cards or they're just from a company that can't afford to make their own boxes. So that's the first thing you'll notice is this plastic case. And I don't know if I was holding it too low, but let's get the cards out now. Okay, so the plastic case right here, that's already a bad sign. Now, let's talk about the design and the stock and the finish now. The back design is actually kind of cool because it's like LA and stuff, and that's what it says right here, Los Angeles, California. The only problem with that is it seems like a souvenir, like, oh, I went to Los Angeles, which I'll explain that in a minute. But the finish is pretty bad. It's just like a generic plastic finish, and the stock is pretty papery. It's pretty thin. And I'll also explain that in a minute. But I don't know if you can see that very well, but if I reflect the light right, you might be able to see the edges reflecting light. So if I can get the light right there, I don't know if you can see that. The edges are actually a little bit bowed in, almost like they have a really dull cutter for cutting cards, for cutting them off the sheets. And I don't know if you'll be able to notice this right away, but they're actually much thinner than USPC or Bicycle normal poker size playing cards. These are actually like, there's like that much of a gap not taken up. There's probably about a centimeter smaller, almost a half an inch maybe, that this is smaller than a normal Bicycle deck. So anyway, there's a lot of things that are a little bit strange about this. Now, one of the things about buying cheap decks, and this was probably like $1, and I know it was from a gift shop. That's what the person who gave it to me said. It was from a gift shop, and that's not a great place to buy cards. Don't buy cards from a gift shop. Buy them from either a toy store or a department store. That's where you're going to get good cards. Now, a little bit more about that. When you buy cheap cards, there's a smell. Like, you can't, obviously I can't put a smell sensor on my camera to like show you what they smell like, but there's a really distinct smell that just smells cheap. They just smell really cheap. Like, it sounds kind of strange, but that's one way you can tell that cards are cheap, and these don't really fan that well. They don't spread that great. They break up a lot. Yeah, that's one of the things you get with cheap cards. Now, let's talk about the design a little bit more of the actual faces. Now, the Jokers, first of all, don't really make any sense. They're just seals holding the pips in a ball. I'm not sure why, but that's what they decided to be the Jokers, was seals. Because obviously there are seals all over in Los Angeles. Yeah, whatever. But we'll get to the face cards in a second. But the design, the printing is no good, and the finish, I didn't say this about it before. Let me see if I can get, like, if I reflect it, you might be able to see a little bit of texture. Like, it's really cheap, and it almost looks like it has lines, like it got wet. Like, it looks like it got wet. I don't know, it looks really weird. And it has it's not air cushioned or anything, it's just plastic. And as I said before, the edges feel a little bit rough because they probably just have a dull blade for cutting the cards away from the sheets. And pretty standard designs on the spot cards. Now, the only card that really, really makes me angry is the Ace of Spades. Not only, like, that doesn't even look like a spade, but not only that, it's not consistent. If you look at that, that's a spade, right? That's a spade. This is not a spade. This is a fat spade. It's super fat, and it has absolutely no design. Like, I don't even know why they decided to do that. And not only that, but the index, the pip and the index, the pip is the exact same spade on this card, but the index is totally different. They just decided to use a completely different font. Like, if I compare it with this other ace, like, you can totally see that difference. This is bold. This is, like, they decided to use some weird Windows font, maybe. I don't know. Like, I'm not sure why they did that, but they did. Another thing you'll notice is the barcode is on the card. That is ridiculous. Just put the barcode on the box. Like, just make a box and put the barcode on it. All cards do that. But these don't. Secondly, another thing that's like, I'm not sure why, it's got LA on the back, right? Well, apparently they're made by the Postcard Factory in Markham, Canada. So some company in Canada decided to put LA on the back of their cards. But they're made in China. It's like 3 different countries for, like, it doesn't really make sense. I don't know if that's really a problem. It's just like, why? Why is a postcard factory making cards? And then right here it says Souvenir playing cards. That is something that you really, really don't want, is cards that say Souvenir playing cards, or just plain playing cards. Like right here, I'll show you an example of that. These cards are another deck of really bad cards, and it literally just says playing cards on it. That's a bad sign from the start. And also if it says plastic coated, because then that means that they don't have much to say about it. It's not an actual finish. Alright, now the face cards are also really sad. Like, they're not standard. They look really weird. She looks angry. He has massive eyes. I'm not even sure what's going on. He just looks weird. They all look weird, but the weirdest one is this and this one. These two, he looks like he's high, and she looks like she's, like, so mad she's gonna murder you. It's ridiculous. Like, they're not standard face cards. They're just, some company was like, oh, let's use these because we found them online, probably. I don't know. They look really weird, and she looks stoned. Anyway, be wary of cards that say that they're made in China, and Souvenir playing cards, or just playing cards, or plastic-coated playing cards. That's something you want to watch out for. And do not buy Souvenir playing cards in a gift shop, especially if they have a plastic case. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Not sure if I even educated anyone or anyone who's interested, but thanks for watching, and I'll make some more videos soon.